This is the fretless that I play almost all the time. It's an Ibanez they built for me. It's a 5-string. One of the things you'll notice that are different about it is this piece between the pickups here. And it's something I put in there. It came from back when I tried 2 jazz pickups next to each other on an old jazz bass. And I like the feel, since I play with 3 fingers, I like the feel of the pickups underneath my fingers. So this piece there is just to extend that feeling, so that with my 3 fingers I can place my hand on the strings and be ready to play. It's real comfortable, and it keeps you, or it keeps me from digging in too much. It helps with the light touch that I've tried to develop. The most obvious problem that playing fretless presents is how to play in tune. And one of the techniques I developed and try to tell people to develop is hand-eye coordination. And the first thing you can do to develop that is obviously to have lines. I can play, now that I've been playing fretless about 10 or 11 years, I have the ability to play with my eyes closed. But in order to initially develop this hand-eye coordination with the frets and where to put your fingers, I think you should start out with lines. The first thing to work on when you're trying to play in tune is always give yourself a pitch to judge yourself by. If it's an open string on the bass itself, or some kind of pre-recorded example, so that you always have that pitch to judge your notes by. A good exercise to do is to record on a fretted or a piano or something like that, record a major scale. And then on fretless, start out like a 5th above and play a major scale, or start out a 3rd above and play that same major scale. And try to play it very slow and try to keep each note in tune. Another thing you can work on is that you can teach if you can teach your first finger to locate itself in the right place all the time as far as shifting, then the other 3 fingers can learn eventually to space themselves correctly. One specific technique as far as how to tune up notes is the ability to rotate and pivot on each finger. It's kind of tricky to develop, but it allows you to. You can see how I did it right there. I kind of rotated the note into being in tune. All right, I'll do it with the 3rd finger. Another benefit of this is that it gives you a more characteristic fretless sound. Instead of just hitting a flat pitch and having to be in tune, all right, you can, even if it is in tune, you can move it just a little bit, and it adds that extra little color or waver to the pitch that makes it sound more like a fretless. Just a little bit. So while you're looking for the pitch, you can find it, or if you're right on it, you can still put that little vibrato in there. Another reason I have lines on my bass is that you can't really consistently locate your finger in the same place for every fret. Say for instance my G string, I always have to play a little bit sharper to play in tune down on the 2nd fret than if I'm up on some real high frets. There I have to move further back away from the fret, or use the fret line. So it's not exactly in the same position as it is to play this in tune. And so those little discrepancies you have to learn by visually watching where it takes to play a note in tune. Another benefit of controlling this pivot on your fingers is that it'll give you more command over your vibrato. One of the trickiest things to do is not to sound nervous with your vibrato. It's easy once you establish that you can do this pivot to sound real shaky. What you have to do is listen to singers and check out how they are in control of it. What you want to do is get a nice, it doesn't take very much movement at all. to get a nice natural sound in vibrato, it takes actually very little movement in the left hand pivoting on those notes. I hope you got something out of what we covered today. In closing, I'd like to thank Kirk Covington for joining me on these tunes, and I'll see you next time.